Hey guys, welcome back to Loft Sports. My name is Seth. Finally doing a preview video on the upcoming 2020 season that we didn't think we were going to have. Then we thought we were going to have it, and then that got taken away. But for right now, hey, we're actually having it. So this is awesome. I love the fact that I can actually sit here and look at the season. I have a schedule in front of me and actually kind of see where is this Nebraska team going to be finishing up in 2020. So, real quick, just kind of going, just my quick observation of the team. I think this team has a chance to get a lot better. Going to get much worse, to be honest, in the last couple of years for our standards of Nebraska. So, expectations has kind of changed. Last year, we were a preseason top 25 team. Obviously, we know how last year went. Wasn't the best year to be hyping up the Big Red after all. So, coming into this year, expectations are a little more tempered, a little more realistic. I think the big thing, just like we talked about a lot last year on these videos, and something I always harped on, what type of Adrian Martinez does Nebraska get? If Nebraska gets the Adrian Martinez from the freshman year, that's a whole different Adrian Martinez than what we got last year, and it's a whole different team. He's got better weapons, better experience around him. We got a lot of new, exciting incoming players like Alante Brown, Omar Manning. Dedrick Mills finished the year really strong. I look at something even on the offensive line. Bryce Benhart, who was a huge offensive line recruit for us a couple years ago from Minnesota, coming in, starting in right tackle, moving Farniak from tackle to guard. That whole offensive line should be a little bit better. All those position players who played last year that were young guys like a Ramir Johnson, all of them should be that much better. Adrian has more weapons to work with, and with Luke McCaffrey beating on his door, there's literally no excuse for him not to improve. Defensively, I don't see how it could have got much worse than last year. I mean, Purdue's third-string quarterback beat us, so I'm not really gonna go kind of much in depth on that. There's young players that they've recruited that have redshirted. It's time to actually step up and make some plays on defense. Like I said, defense can't be much better. We did lose 3 guys who ended up signing, whether they were drafted or went through the undrafted free agent route. Our 3 defensive line guys, all of them were at least given a shot in the NFL. So yeah, we have to replace them. But let's be honest, I always have this feeling if you suck with 3 really good players, you can suck without them. So collectively, as a whole, that unit needs to be much better. And I think they will be. They've recruited a lot better. We got a huge JUCO corner coming in the Dab Joseph, who should really solidify. It has to be an upgrade from Lamar Jackson, for God's sake. So that should be better. Then I just think overall, like even special teams have better return men. More of the young guys are playing, so you don't have walk-ons on kick units anymore. We actually have some kickers this year, hopefully. So it should be a lot better. Hopefully that can all translate to a better product on the field. But that schedule's tough, and that kind of leads me right into it. Looking at the schedule, they didn't do us a favor the first 4 weeks. Our first game at Ohio State, let's be honest, there's not too much to talk about there. That should be a loss. Could we shock some people and keep it close? Absolutely. We almost beat them in Columbus the last time we were there 2 years ago. There's always a chance, but let's be realistic. We are not at the same level of Ohio State, and we probably won't be for at least a couple more years. So for now, we just have to count that as a loss. Next week against Wisconsin, coming in 0-1 at that Wisconsin game. Wisconsin playing Lincoln's second year in a row. Should we beat Wisconsin? I don't know. Could we beat them? Absolutely. We always have better, at least physical talent than Wisconsin. But Wisconsin doesn't hurt themselves. They don't have penalties. They don't turn it over. They play a brand of football that just always keeps them in a game. And they wait for others to make mistakes. And Nebraska, unfortunately, has usually made those mistakes. And we haven't beat Wisconsin but one time in this conference. Can we beat them? Absolutely. But right now, as a betting man, I would just have to count that as a loss until I'm proven that Nebraska can beat Wisconsin. I'm going to take that as an L. Next week, going into Northwestern. Northwestern, that's a fantastic game. It's always close from a neutral's perspective. Tough, scrappy, been a couple overtime games. But let's be honest, we should never have to worry about Northwestern when you're in Nebraska. We recruit much higher level. We have much better talent. That should be the first win of the year, which then moves us into Penn State. again, that's just a team that, sure, we could beat them, but I don't think we're on the same level as Penn State. I think they are a legit national championship contender this year. Definitely could make a run at getting into a playoff. So I really don't think we're on the same level as them. That should be a loss. So in those first 4 games, I have Nebraska going 1-3, which sounds terrible. But the nice thing about that is, and I alluded into it about the video I made about the schedule earlier, that it sets up the end of the year where we're talking about Illinois, Iowa, Purdue, Minnesota, and then whoever we get for that 9th game with the Big Ten Championship week. Now that actually sets up pretty favorable. Illinois, Iowa, Purdue. Iowa, we've been so close the last couple years. They have a new quarterback. Sure, they have 6 weeks, and what Iowa usually always gets better as the year goes on. But let's be honest. This has to be the year we beat them after 2 straight overtime, or not necessarily overtime, but right at the end, the losses against an Iowa team that has been better than us. But even our worst teams have almost beat them. And I think this is a much improved Nebraska team. I think Nebraska will beat them this year. I think we'll handle Illinois easily. And I think we will beat Purdue whether Rondell Moore comes back and plays or not. So really it sets us up to potentially go 3-4 with that Minnesota game being an absolutely huge swing game. That Minnesota game could absolutely define the season for us. And it sounds weird to say that, but really then we're talking about, are we going 4-4 or 5-3 as a team? And my expectations right now, they're a little lower than they were last year, but I at least want us to go 500 in this conference because it's something we haven't done since Frost has been here. If we can beat in Iowa and beat the teams we're supposed to, yeah, we're going to lose to Ohio State. We're going to lose to Penn State. But if we can play good against Wisconsin, we can beat Iowa. And then we somehow find a way to beat Minnesota after their great year last year. Guys, that's a really good year. And I'd be very happy with that, even going 4-4 and losing to Minnesota. But what I love about the schedule the most is it's end-loaded with it's front-loaded, which makes the end of the season a little easier, and we should get some wins to really roll in to 2021, which I think is going to be the biggest season for the Nebraska program in a very long time. So that's what I got. I got us going. I'm just going to say right now, 4-4 in those 8 games, and then seeing what happens in that 9th game, and hopefully we can get a win in that 9th game, whoever that is we match up against. 5-4 in the Big Ten is definitely something. Is it great? No. Do we want to be better? Absolutely. But look where we're at, guys. 5-4 in this conference right now is something that we have to be proud of and then move forward into next year and really challenge for the West. Let me know what you guys think of the schedule. Let me know what you guys think of what your prediction is for our record. Who are we going to lose to? Who are we going to beat? What are your key games? Let me know in the comments below. But as always, this is Seth with Loft Sports.